My name is Khalif Ali. I played for Coach Mayden in 1989 and 90. Originally, I thought I didn't have much to say, but thinking back, I have a lot to say. I met Coach Mayden right after I graduated from high school. Dexter Keefe and Darrell Spike Palmer, they asked me if I wanted to try out for the summer league team. I was like, hell yeah. Now at that time, as a graduate out of high school, I didn't realize that, I was getting my strength and height. I was a late bloomer, so throughout grammar school and high school, I was just an average player, I tried out for the team. I kind of shocked myself on how well I was hitting the ball. My defense was suspect, but I was hitting bombs, I felt real good, so I made the team, and just looking back at that summer of 89, right out of high school, that was the best years of my baseball career, thinking back. Coach Mayden introduced travel baseball to me, I never traveled past my city limits playing baseball, even in high school, we had away games. Our coach gave us bus tokens and we had to ride the CTA public transportation to our games. Wow, but Coach Mayden pulled up in this school bus and we was off. We traveled. Over those 3 months before I went away to college, we must have traveled all over the Midwest playing games, okay? And the competition was excellent. And that team was something else because it was some All-Americans on that team. We look at Will Bates, Corey Gilkey, Luke Collier, Rodney Williams. Man, that was like my best baseball experience ever. After playing with Coach Mayden that year, I love the game so much, but it gave me the confidence to say, Khalif, you could play with anybody. The experiences was just so much, We traveled to West Virginia. That experience was something else, The bus broke down on the way down there. And then when they fixed the bus, it could only travel 40 miles per hour, but didn't care because I was having a great time doing the thing that I love, And it's just great memories when I think about that summer. I learned how to compete competitively, on that travel team, The competition was good and I was rising up to the occasion. We was playing some team, South Bend, Indiana, and I was up at bat and I wasn't doing so good, okay? But Rodney Williams, his dad, was behind the cage. Come on, Ali, hit the ball. That right there sparked something in me where I was like, I got mad. And I took that frustration out on the ball. And ever since then, after that, every time I walked out of the batter's box, I turned into a killer to where I'm not striking out and I'm going to tear the cover off the ball. Ever since then, he was like, Ali, hit the ball. And I felt his frustration like I was holding back. And it taught me something like, man, it's something that I teach my son today, that, you don't know when your last game going to be, so take advantage of it now. You don't want to go in that batter's box and just make contact. And when you wish you was like really take a hard cut at the ball, So I remember that. And that's what I teach my son today, Coach Mayden, this guy love the game of baseball. I never seen somebody who really loved the game of baseball, and he taught me a lot, And it's back in '89, he was already traveling around with baseball players going back to '83. I hear, let alone in 1989, and then like right now it's 2020, okay, and I'm going around with my son, teaching him how to play the game, and I'm running into people who knew Coach Mayden, like the West Inglewood Tigers with Coach Butlers, the Butlers. You got the Daddy Butler, you got DB, Coach Butler, who coached the Little League World Series team, you know. The daddy recalled Coach Mayden. And then another team that my son played for with Luke Collier. And I was like, Luke Collier sounds so familiar. And Luke Collier was on that 89 team. He was on the bus with us when we went to West Virginia. You know, he was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I remember when the bus broke down and it didn't go fast 40 miles per hour, but you know, yeah, but we had a good time and it was a great experience, you know. Also when my son joined the White Sox Ace, you know, and they got a lot of videos on Facebook, you know, the director of White Sox Ace is named Kenny Foreman. So I'm like, okay, Kenny Foreman used to coach Harlan High School baseball team. I'm like, okay, wow, look, it's Coach Mayden right here interviewing Kenny Foreman back in the day. So I'm like, when you think about Chicago baseball, travel baseball, the one person, the common denominator towards this game is Coach Mayden.